Here was the scene in Waterloo and in Kitchener, too, earlier on Monday. River overflowing, flash flooding, thanks to some heavy downpours, some melting snow. Temperatures warmed up, and that was the scene. So you think, okay, great. We've got a warm front going through. We've got record-breaking temperatures, but it's not all a good thing. That warm front came and went, and hot on its heels, a cold front, if that makes sense. And the cold front is what really stirred those winds. So we're talking about winds gusting 100K in some cases. Okay, so here's the rain. First of all, Kitchener, 44 millimeters of rain. That was enough to cause the localized flooding, people getting trapped in some cases because the water rose so quickly. In the meantime, these are your temperatures. Look at Ottawa, 19.4 Celsius in our nation's capital. St. Catharines, 19 degrees, broke a record that stood since 1983. Toronto getting up to 18.3 degrees, and that record had stood since the 1940s. Yeah, pretty impressive. But the winds, that's the big story. Power outages, tree branches down, in some cases actual trees down, and hydro wires down, so people without power as a result. There are some of the wind gusts, 98K in Hamilton, 102 in St. Catharines, 102 in Kitchener. So first the flooding and then the damage because of the winds. Emergency vehicles, you could probably hear a lot of those sirens happening through much of the day because of that wind. Snow to the north, 10 to 15 centimeters, Nickel Belt and northward. And in Atlantic Canada, we had a soggy day across much of the maritime provinces. And now that rain is moving into Newfoundland. So this is what Halifax looked like. Warm and wet. Temperature getting up to about 14, almost 15 degrees on Monday. You'll still be quite mild on Tuesday morning, but temperatures are not going to stay this way. By Wednesday, much cooler day for you in Halifax. You're looking at a high of about 7 degrees. That's it. In the meantime, your Tuesday morning looks pretty good. 12 in St. John, 13 in Halifax. We've got some windy weather for Newfoundland. And St. John's, after only hitting 0, you're getting up to 14 degrees by Tuesday afternoon. Let's jump to the other side of the country tonight and through the day on Tuesday. In fact, we've got a lot of rain coming your way over the next several days. And for the higher elevations and the mountain passes, we're talking about snow, accumulating snow, in some cases over 15 centimeters anticipated. The heaviest rain around the Fraser Valley, up to 60 millimeters of rain. Okay, our storm watch continues. Don't go away. This is that all the stuff in his shed was intact. It hadn't moved. So maybe we can now question whether you need a shed or not, because obviously that stuff is just going to sit there. Yeah, you might need a roof. But winds gusting about 98 kilometers per hour. I believe that was the highest wind gust in Hamilton. Everybody seems to be talking about the wind in Ontario because, I mean, if you go on social media or Twitter or Facebook, people are saying, wow, I've never heard anything like it, because it's roaring. You can really hear it. It's the cold front, too. That's what's responsible for it. And even into Tuesday morning, we're still looking at some fairly gusty winds. It's going to finally ease late day Tuesday. It'll still be breezy, but we're talking about 60, 40, that kind of thing. So 60K early in the day, 40K later in the day. Not like what we've seen, which was, 98, 102 in St. Catharines, 102 in Kitchener, power outages, trees down, hydro wires down, traffic lights, and then debris, too, while you are driving. That's been a real concern, driving along and suddenly something comes flying at you. And if it was your garbage day, well, I don't know if you'll see your bin for a while. 16 in Markham, 19 in St. Catharines. These are record-breaking temperatures. Montreal, 17.8 degrees, but it wasn't warm everywhere. It was cold to the north, and we have accumulating snow. In Edmonton, not a lot of people have had a snow day, despite the fact they see so much snow. Here's Margot. Was above the freezing mark, just above 1 degree. Normal daytime highs around -4. In the south, windy conditions, 110K gusts anticipated with that wind starting to ease through the morning hours on Tuesday. So snow is coming Wednesday, Thursday. For areas around northern Alberta, this is just through Tuesday morning. The worst is yet to come midweek, and that's when the cold air settles in as well.
Like you mean it.
Some people dealing with more damage than others, several without power as a result of hydro lines coming down, tree branches, and in some cases even entire trees falling. I know there was an incident, at least one of those, in the Kitchener area. And earlier in the day, it was all about the flooding in Kitchener-Waterloo, flash flooding and cars getting stuck in the water. Wind gusts, they look like this, powerful, as expected, 98 to 102 kilometer per hour wind gusts, incredible. And before the cold front went through and churned up all this air, we had the warm front, and the warm front managed to get temperatures up to record-breaking levels. So these were the numbers, 19.4 in Ottawa, 19 in St. Catharines, not bad. Not bad for this time of the year. End of November, 18.3 in Toronto. Hamilton, 17 degrees. And Toronto's record goes back to the 1940s. Pretty impressive. But as mentioned, that was the warm front. Now comes the cold front. So that's represented by the blue line. This is Tuesday morning. Temperature dropping. And that means that in some cases, rain that we had seen, we'd seen rain well to the north, is changing over to snow. And we are expecting squalls adjacent to Huron and Georgian Bay once more. So how does rain change to snow with the same system? Science behind the weather now with Jacqueline. On Monday, but that's it for the mild air for a while. In fact, temperatures are going to plummet. You've probably heard this before. If you've been checking your app on the phone or watching your local forecast, you know that colder air is coming. Yes, winter is coming. Not here yet. We're still a month away from Christmas. By the way, this is through Tuesday, so you're like, yeah, okay, a couple of centimeters, no big deal, 2 to 5 centimeters. But we do have a lot of Pacific moisture. It is moving in, and it is going to drop a lot of snow in places like the foothills, anywhere west of Edmonton, but Edmonton, Calgary, Red Deer, you're all in it. So this is Tuesday morning. There's an area of low pressure. That's going to bring some snow. The winds are going to be quite powerful, but easing, by the way, through the morning hours. So there's our wind warning for the southwest, the typical areas that see it. Let's talk about snow totals. This is through Tuesday. A lot of that heavy snow in the BC interior and the higher elevations, but it's all coming to you in Alberta